Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. And today we have for you a 1 vs 1 on Beaux Lowlands, indeed once more. And it is also today Monday, so of course another Monday novice fight. And this one shall prove to be rather novice in fighting. It shall perhaps have some interesting bits, perhaps some not so interesting bits, but it will hopefully teach you a few things. And of course, finally, we won't be able to cast 2 casts a day. It was fun for while it lasted, but then again, I'm also bloody exhausted after it. So no more double casts until I've reached 800 subscribers, and thankfully that's about 90 subscribers away, so keep cracking at that. In the meanwhile, I'll keep casting at a slightly more slower and manageable pace. And of course, Beaux Lowlands, rather segmented into sort of 2 front lines, sort of naturally. Points are rather divided. There's some resource points sort of at the edges. In the center, there's not really an awful lot, just strategic points. Of course, those can become rather harassable by a competent player. But of course, some of you might be asking who shall be fighting. Well, in the northern corner, we shall be seeing megacrosis of the Americans. 4th Infantry Division going up against Atre3u. I believe it's supposed to be pronounced as, of the 2nd Panzer Division's reconnaissance unit. And in fact, let's get right down to it. Panzer Grenade is on the way. Kettenkraut sort of sneaking out. If it can't get around to it, of course, that is the eternal question. Barracks going up for the engineers. Megacrosis being megacrotastic. Something like that. Not really, again, the sort of most exciting of starts when you come to Company of Heroes. I mean, then again, at least we're not sort of seeing lots of small drones being sent out to gather minerals, gold, or sausages, so that's supposed always something. But Panzer Grenade is advancing. Kar 98Ks in hand. Gewehr 43 is being equipped. Gewehr 43 being the semi-automatic rifle of choice in the German army. Well, not really as such. I mean, they also captured a whole bunch of SVT-40s from the Soviets, in particular the Waffen-SS were fond of them, since they basically always wanted as much firepower as they can get their hands on, and so in particular the Eastern Front ones would have a rather large mix of German and Soviet weaponry. So they could basically get more automatic weapons that they were actually supposed to have. 2nd Kettenkraut, though, going up for Atre3u, rather interesting. A bit unusual in that. But we'll see how that goes. He's probably figuring, well, this is a large map. I'll need something that can quickly secure me as much of this large map as possible. Using his Panzer Grenadiers to also seize territory when he has a 2nd Kettenkraut on the way, though that seems a bit off. But then again, he's only using them to seize strategic points, which I'd say is alright, at least at this stage. American commanders fanning east and west, riflemen heading west, while the engineers are heading eastwards. This will probably result in a clash between the Panzer Grenadiers and the riflemen. Of course, question is, what will the American commander go for, and what will Atre3u? It's certainly a bit of an odd start for him. Panzer Grenadiers heading down here. Might probably soon spot something down here. Yes, indeed. Riflemen and Panzer Grenadiers engaging. Who shall win this fight? Gewehr 43. Panzer Grenadiers not ready nearby, and generally you want to keep your first Panzer Grenadiers together, otherwise they might suddenly find themselves outgunned, which is not really how you want things to be done. 3rd Panzer Grenadier team ready in the American base. 2nd Rifleman team ready. Gewehr 43 equipped Panzer Grenadiers arriving to support the 1st team of Panzer Grenadiers, although they are a bit awfully close. 1 Panzer Grenadier down, 1 Rifleman down. How shall this ever go out? Small duel over very, very short distances. Rifleman taking quite a beating in the face of the Elite Panzer Grenadieren. And there we go, only 1 man making it out of there alive to tell the tale of the Panzer Grenadiers who kicked their asses. And shall we be seeing any structures up? I suspect so. Other than that, he's getting more Panzer Grenadiers, apparently so. No buildings as of yet. Kettenkraut rather finding himself faced with engineers. Riflemen heading eastwards. So far, the west seems to be in the hands of the Atre3u and the 2nd Panzer Division. Whatever. Flak feelings, of course, sort of ringing around the base. Not really good at providing air cover, although again seems to be you need apparently a lot of volume in anti-aircraft fire to actually get a plane down. Atre3u's Kettenkraut seems to be in a task of sort of mission of harassment behind enemy lines. It looks like he has gone Luftwaffe, as again we can notice. Kettenkraut sort of can't give away the doctrine chosen in this case. Camouflage pattern means Luftwaffe, and then again, most Panzer Elite commanders go for Luftwaffe. It's sort of the most utilitarian, one that can be used both offensively, defensively. Plus the Luftwaffe troops are pretty good at putting together your vehicles again after you have them shot up. Kettenkrad coming under fire. Kettenkrad needs to retreat, but then again perhaps it just wants to... Yes, there we go, just a bit of harassment, just rendering this point neutral, and then making a heroic dash for it while cloaked. American commander seems a bit passive, but now his riflemen are moving in there, and apparently in the north as well. Kettenkrad coming on fire. Panzer grenadiers will need to intercept these riflemen lest their Kettenkrad get blown to bits. Atre3u, you have Panzer grenadiers nearby, use them, damn it. Kettenkrad sneaking around, not entirely sure what he wants to do, but he has to be careful, riflemen are nearby. Riflemen Atre3u, will shoot your Kettenkrad. Panzer grenadiers engaging the riflemen at range. Riflemen trying to get cover, but then again, some light cover is also directional in cases of wooden fences. Again, stand on the right side, not on the wrong side. Sort of imagine yourself, if you in this sort of situation, which side of the cover do you want to be on? The one where the cover is in between you and the opponent, or behind you and you're sort of in front of it? Again, sort of try to apply some sort of logic to it. And looks like Atre3u is in fact rushing straight for the Panzer Support Command. Rather interesting, not the Panzerjäger Command. Panzer grenadiers engaging the riflemen right there. Gewehr 43 is in hand. These Panzer grenadiers need to keep moving. I mean, be a bit aggressive, and looks like lots of Gewehr 43s for everyone. But these chaps, move them. There's engagement right there and something going on there. So move them. I mean, again, don't be passive. Never be passive. In particular not when you have troops that are already under fire and are taking losses. That's just silly. Luftwaffe troops now being sent into the field. And this building is finished. Panzer grenadiers also standing about. Again, I'm not entirely sure why Atre3u is just sort of standing about being passive. Come on, Atre3u, you have troops there. There. Move it. And now BARs equipped. These Panzer grenadiers need to retreat. Luftwaffe troops engaging the riflemen right there. BAR versus Kar-98K in the hands of less awesome troops of the 17th Luftwaffe Division. Rifleman firing away. One rifleman goes down in the face of the elite Luftwaffe. Well, not really elite. These Panzer grenadiers are still standing around, but then again, some might soon be redeemed by these riflemen moving in. Luftwaffe troops being suppressed by the BAR fire. Other Panzer grenadiers getting reinforced. Panzer Support Command upgrade. Shall it be the Panzer IV or shall it be the Hotchkiss? It's certainly known for some players to actually rush straight for the Panzer Support Command upgraded unit. Usually means Panzer Force, but let's not rule that out. The Hotchkiss out of yet. Rifleman going down though. Oh dear, he's not retreating and cut down. The Luftwaffe actually securing 4 kills, and again, that is the difference cover can make, as you might sort of notice. I mean, yes, there was surplus all of the time, but still, they actually didn't take an awful lot of fires, nor the Panzer Grenadiers, and still the Luftwaffe troops managed 4 kills. Not exactly bad. And Rifleman getting engaged out in the open again, sort of standing about in the open. Panzer Grenadiers firing away. Riflemen running away as well, and the Riflemen have secured the center again, sort of due to Atre3u's sort of lack of boldness, aggression, and these Panzer grenadiers need reinforcements, and by reinforcements I mean reinforcements. Engineers moving down, flamethrowers in hand, Luftwaffe troops moving in to intercept.
The enemy will never be able to match the efficiency of our support command structure.
These Panzer grenadiers still need to get moving, and they are retreating, it seems. And what is going on in the American base? Not much. Atre3u is not doing much either at this stage. All very quiet. Too quiet, perhaps? Oh dear, again, this is sort of why it's a Monday Novice fight. Again, be aggressive, try to keep most of your units in movement. Or at least gather them up for an assault, don't just have them standing about doing absolutely nothing. And there we go, Panzer Grenadiers, Luftwaffe troops moving towards the center, it looks like. But mines are being laid down, good show there by megacrosis. Again, laying down mines is never a bad idea. Luftwaffe troops engaging the engineers, one engineer goes down, another might go down as well. No, the rest make it out of there. Luftwaffe troops leading the charge across the... oh dear, and go down. Panzer Grenadiers as well, suppressed. But apparently they are not giving up, although the Luftwaffe troops are awfully wounded. And again, standing about with troops, don't do that. And a machine gun emplacement right there. Luftwaffe troops making a hasty retreat. Those suppressive volleys from the Panzer Grenadiers to stop some of these riflemen. And the Hotchkiss is on the way. Nothing else seems to be going on though. These Panzer Grenadiers again need to get moving. So do these, and these Luftwaffe troops need reinforcements. There we go. Panzer Grenadiers finally moving about. Panzer Grenadiers might suddenly be faced with more riflemen that they feel comfortable with. There we go, another engagement, and now the other riflemen are returning to the fight. Panzer Grenadiers, other half, will they move in to support their other comrades right there? How shall this ever go? Although the riflemen are in a slightly unfortunate situation, not an awful lot of cover there compared to the Panzer Grenadiers, who do have a bit of light cover. Although the riflemen are getting ready to see Panzer Grenadiers here will have to retreat. The others are ignoring it, instead going for this, it seems. Oh dear. Hotchkiss tank ready. Luftwaffe troops doing nothing. Engineers moving across there to seek territory. Hotchkiss moving about. Not really looking good for Atre3u at this stage. Riflemen getting engaged. Getting gunned down because they're charging right into all of these semi-automatic rifles in the hands of the elite troops. Oh dear. And the riflemen are taking quite a pasting. Getting shot up. Hotchkiss moves in to save the day as well. Rifleman team lost. Engineers now coming under fire as well. Burning off fire of their own, but they might not survive in fact. Hotchkiss opens up with its mighty 37mm gun, and it does not manage to fire. Now the center needs to be secured. Luftwaffe troops gaining veterancy as they gun down the engineers. 8 kills, that's quite impressive. Another Hotchkiss has hit the field. And Atre3u needs to move something here to the center to sort of clear it up before everything collapses. And I mean, currently the American commander only has 3 units. Come on, Atre3u. Get a move on, you lazy bastard. Can't just sit about doing absolutely nothing. I mean, that seems to be his major problem so far, at least on Atre3u's behalf. Megacrosis' problem seems to be he's sort of a bit too keen on giving up units, getting them killed, and not having enough of them, I feel. Hotchkiss charges in. What is he doing this? Megacrosis. Atre3u center. He's sort of going for a heavy rifleman sort of support thing. BAR's Atre3u center, but he doesn't have the rifleman for it, which is not good, and he sort of has a bit of problem understanding how cover works. Sturkasafus upgraded. Oh, that also seems to have been the nickname for the Panzerfaust.
Operations have been upgraded.
Defensive operations ready. This is good. Central point being secured, but again Atre3u. Move it. By Jove, move it. Riflemen getting reinforced. Only 2 teams and a team of engineers. Let us go have a look at megacrosis. Let us see what this Novice of the 4th is up to. Laying down mines. Rifleman on the way. Has suffered quite a bit. 2 riflemen team lost. Not really good. Machine gun emplacement going up and firing away at that Kettenkrad. Luftwaffe troops standing about doing nothing really interesting. Again, why not have them moving about? Riflemen getting ready. BARs being equipped for those as well. The BAR being a World War I aerial weapon came up at the end of it. Essentially stands for Browning Automatic Rifle. Was a sort of battle rifle concept, not quite the same as an assault rifle, yet here it seems to be working like one. It was sort of an LMG, but at the same time it could be fired if you walked, not ran. And riflemen are charging towards the center. Lots of riflemen versus 2 Panzer Grenadier teams. Panzer Grenadiers need to retreat, and Hotchkiss might need to move in, but no, it's ignoring it. Panzer Grenadiers retreat. I said yes. There we go. And Atre3u's other forces seem utterly ignorant of what's going on. Right here in the center, riflemen are charging ahead, but Hotchkiss firing its rockets, which has just gotten upgraded, and sticky bombs getting prepared. Apparently I missed that. Rather interesting. Hotchkiss taking quite a bit of damage right there. Not looking good. Could be to the advantage of megacrosis if he gets it off. But Panzer Grenadiers are counter-attacking. Charging a bit too far ahead though. Flak feeling opening up and support. Although Panzer Grenadiers are still suffering losses, the riflemen are as well, and running away. Hotchkiss though will be near repairs, and these Luftwaffe troops will be able to secure it quite nicely. And Kettenkrad has snuck in behind enemy lines and securing 3rd victory point as of yet. Supply yard up for the American forces of Uncle Sam. Further Luftwaffe troops arriving on the field. Wonder what they will be up to. Sandbags to create fortifications. Not a bad idea, in fact. If he expects to hold the line here, he might as well get some sandbags up. And for that, Luftwaffe troops certainly do the trick. More riflemen being gathered around. Supply yard certainly helps with manpower upkeep.
They're going after one of our munitions points.
All very quiet at this stage. Hotchkiss once more advancing on the machine gun emplacement, opening up with its tiny 37mm gun. Not managing an awful lot. On the looks like it has plans with its rockets. Panzer grenades engaging riflemen, or riflemen engaging panzer grenades. Machine gun emplacement knocked out, clearing the way there. Riflemen getting suppressed. And what is Atre3u doing with the rest of his resources? He's not really suffering a lot at this stage, so he must be having something. Engineers charging with the flamethrowers at these Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers though still managing, and a Wirbelwind Flak Panzer has arrived, charging ahead, suppressing and pinning down the riflemen, while here things are not looking good. Luftwaffe troops and the Hotchkiss doing quite a bit of damage to these riflemen, clearing out another rifleman team, and again once more megacrosis barely has anything left. Again his unit preservation skills leave a lot to be desired. Again, use cover, mates. Cover. Don't charge across open ground, and certainly not across negative cover. And that certainly seems to be megacrosis' main problem. But then again, Atre3u at the same time also needs to be a bit more aggressive. He needs to be a bit better at capturing ground. At this stage, things seems an awful quiet, and now he's getting more Wirbelwinds, but he's not preparing himself for any sort of armored attacks. And Hotchkisses, while decent against Greyhounds. I mean, if his opponent is going for armor, and in this case he actually is, those Hotchkisses will be in quite a bit of trouble. They are French light tanks. Light tanks generally not being really suited for taking on heavier tanks, and they are from 1940. That really ought to be a clue as to how you should use them. Not head on against any American armor or tank destroyers. And Hellcats are on the way, it seems, or not? Come on, megacrosis, make up your mind, or I'll take it away from you. Well, not your mind, I don't want that. Oh well. Wirbelwinds providing, and I think Atre3u is making this sort of mistake here again, of sort of going a bit too heavily towards anti-infantry, not really considering the possibility of armor. Might just be me though.
We're losing ground out there. Airdrop reserves are now available.
An airborne doctrine has been chosen. Shall be interesting to see. Time for the mid-game analysis. Well, currently Atre3u around there has the advantage, doesn't he? I mean, he has most of the map, most of the units, most of the initiative. But then again, he has one flaw, and that is no proper anti-armor assets. Nothing that can really deal with it. And what is our opponent exactly going for? Tanks. Yes, indeed, or at least a tank destroyer. Will certainly be able to deal with the Wirbelwind and the Hotchkisses quite nicely if used properly, and this could turn out to be the doom of Atre3u if handled properly, and if Atre3u handles it improperly. So that of course divides a bit there. Although again, megacrosis really needs to work on his unit preservation. He needs to work on not getting his riflemen killed outright in absolutely stupid situations. I mean, he really just charges them across open ground and gets them killed for no apparent reason. But let us return to the fight. All quiet. Flamethrower equipped for the engineers. Looks like this Kettencrat might be running straight into them. No, the Kettencrat avoids. 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 And there we go. Hellcat ready. Not the M10 tank destroyer, but the M18. The M18 more or less the same, but it has slightly less penetration, but at the same time it doesn't quite suffer the same animation bug that the M10 does, which means that sometimes it doesn't really actually fire. The M18 on the other hand does, plus it does have a 50 caliber machine gun, which can be some use. Riflemen and engineers engaging these Panzer grenades across open ground. Again, take cover. I mean, you could have moved through here, but Panzer grenades are getting scorched actually by the flamethrower, and the riflemen actually doing a bit of damage. These Panzer grenades need to retreat. Retreat before it is too late, although the engineers catch on fire and the Panzer grenades are retreating. More riflemen arriving, causing things to fall apart a bit. Tank destroyer ready and engaging Panzer Grenadiers, managing 2 kills actually, surprisingly. Hotchkiss opening up. Riflemen need to get away. And M18 continues. Hotchkiss has been upgraded with a slightly higher velocity gun, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to do much against the Hellcat, because the Hellcat does a lot more damage. having a larger gun. Hotchkiss needs to retreat. It can't take on a tank destroyer frontally. It's a light tank, not a tank destroyer. No matter how you twist and turn it, although it can do a bit of damage to the Hellcat will do more. My goodness. Keeping the Hotchkiss at range actually works, and apparently he was hoping to do that, but now the Whirlwind will be lost. Oh dear. Hotchkiss needs to retreat. Veteran to 1, increasing the speed of the Hellcat. Oh dear. Main gun destroyed off the Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss making a run for it. Will it survive? No, it won't. And the Hotchkiss is no more. Another Hellcat arrives. The reign of the Hellcats against the German forces has arrived. Are the Hotchkiss moves in to deal with it? Oh dear, he's sending in on his own. Atre3u gets too confident. And there is a shuffle. A fresh Hellcat arrives. Oh, poor Mr. Hotchkiss. Betrayed by his own commanders. Uncontrolled audacity. Luftwaffe troops engaging the riflemen. Luftwaffe troops do have cover, heavy cover in fact, so they could actually win, and there we go, rifleman goes down. Hotchkiss number 2 lost to the might of the Hellcat. Riflemen, oh dear, the Hellcat actually turns that around now. Actually, otherwise the Luftwaffe troops could actually perhaps have won, since they had the heavy cover, the riflemen don't. But no, the Luftwaffe troops are taking heavy losses. And 50 caliber guns now upgraded on the Hellcats, my goodness. Something going on here in Atre3u's space, whatever shall it be. Are the Whirlwinds sort of deciding it wants to get out of there? And anti-tank guns now getting ready as well. Engineers moving forward to repair the Hellcats. The Hellcats, the savior of megacrosis and the 4th Infantry Division. Now getting a Sherman actually. And a Bergtiger has arrived. Nothing that can actually deal with the armor. No, he shall just be putting together those Hotchkisses. In this case, it looks like it should have been a rather clean shot right through the turret, punching it in. Hiccup. Americans immediately securing as much territory as possible. Hellcats ready with a 50 caliber machine gun as well. Second one also getting it. And this 50 caliber machine gun actually works, so it can actually do some damage. And now the Sherman is ready as well. Riflemen getting these Luftwaffe troops and grenades. Oh dear, some losses for the Luftwaffe troops as they make a run for it. But Panzer grenades are counter-attacking in force. Quite a force. Bergtiger standing about inches away from the Hotchkiss. There we go. And the Sherman moves straight at the Panzer Grenadiers. And those Panzer Grenadiers are going to be running into what you would call a problem. Negative Air 43 is being of no use against the Sherman tank. Losses for the Panzer Grenadiers. Need to retreat. Riflemen though getting gunned down. Leaving megacrosis with even less infantry, but Atre3u is certainly not doing too well at this stage either. There is armor, and he doesn't really have anything that can deal with it. He's perhaps hoping for Panthers, but he doesn't have the population for it, or the manpower at this stage. More Hellcats arriving from hell. Hotchkiss put together. Main gun upgraded? Is he serious? Apparently Atre3u is quite the believer in the power of the Hotchkiss light tank. I mean, I admire his courage, his bravery, but they are light tanks. The name is the key. Light, they're not supposed to be taking on armor of any sort. Unless they can gain some sort of sneaky advantage. In this case, they can't. Oh dear, this is going to be the massacre of the Hotchkiss once more. Hellcats moving in, 2 versus 2. Not looking bright for the Hotchkiss tanks. Hotchkiss number 1 out of control again. Just after he upgraded the main. That seems to be a rather selective out of control, I might add. Sort of driving around. No, I don't want to crash into that wooden hut. That's not proper. And the Hotchkiss actually managed to score a kill. My goodness, the killer Hotchkiss. for at least a few more seconds, but now the Hellcat has the veterancy 2, making it even more lethal. Hotchkiss getting repaired, the Bergtiger working hard at it. Or at least they decided not to. And pressing through here in the north as well. Another Hellcat with the Sherman. Oh dear. Wirbelwind protecting the flank, but it's not really suited for it. Wirbelwind lost, and its crew go on a swim. Except they never get up again. Tragic. Panzer grenadiers are counter-attacking for the fatherland with some Luftwaffe troops. Will they run into more armor? Probably. Wirbelwind, flak feeling, cleared out. Not looking good at all for Atre3u. Utterly caught with his pants down due to this sort of armor business, which he wasn't really prepared for at all. American armor charging right into his base. Another Hellcat moving in. And the Hotchkiss once more charges forward for the fatherland. Apparently convinced that it is a Tiger commando or something. Apparently snapped. And has lost all contact with reality. But no, apparently he might get another kill because the Hellcat decides to focus on the Bergtiger. But more Hellcats are arriving. My goodness, Bergtiger's lost. But this means he could actually get the Panther battle group in. Hotchkiss cleared out. Veterancy free for this Hellcat, which means it will in fact do more damage. Oh dear, another Hotchkiss out of control. The forces of the 2nd Panzer Division, despite not being that awfully panzery, are getting shattered, blown to bits, while the Panzer Grenadiers are clumping up. Oh dear, Atre3u, don't clump up, don't blob up. Keep moving. And what is left of this 4th Infantry Division marches towards the center, secure there. Panzer Support Command falling apart. Let us speed things up, since I doubt there'll be anything, because I'm pretty sure Atre3u is going for the Panther Battle Group, which is probably also going to be his only chance at actually salvaging things here. And in the meanwhile, we'll have a speed up sequence of the Panzer Elite base getting blown to bits. Panzer Grenadiers getting slaughtered. Luftwaffe troops reporting that they've lost their arms. And there we go. Panthers are arriving. Panzerkampfwagen 5 there to save the day after Atre3u sort of threw it away. And the Veterancy 3 Hellcat is doing quite a bit of damage and actually being able to penetrate the frontal armor of the Panther without problem, due to it being Veterancy 3 is now running into its own problems. It's knocked out. It's dead. And this Hellcat will also be lost, and this could actually prove to be the end for Mr. Megacrosis. He's not actually focusing his units, getting overwhelming firepower against the Panthers. And this could be the key for the Panthers, except Atre3u decides to split them up. Don't do that, mate. But then again, if he can shatter the armor, then that could be the end for Megacrosis, because he barely has anything left but the armor, which he has now put all his faith into, emptying completely the armor and tank destroyer companies or battalions of the 4th Infantry Division. Panther taking on the Hellcat. Cat versus Bigger Cat. Bigger Cat will win. Well, looks like this Panther might get flanked, but no, it's pulling away. Charge of the Hellcats. Other Panther needs to move in. Come on, move it. Hellcat charging ahead. Hellcat knocked out. Other Hellcat holding back. Oh dear. Fresh Hellcats arriving. Hellcat, Hellcat, Hellcat. No anti-tank guns being dropped, though that could actually be of help. Hellcat out of control. But a rear armor hit on the Panther. More Hellcats being rushed to the front. And a Hellcat once more charges ahead, hoping to knock out the Panther. No, it doesn't succeed. And the Panthers get another kill, turning this into a rather large scrap heap of American armor. But an anti-tank gun now gets called in. That could prove slightly more dangerous if it could get off some armor-piercing rounds. Panzer Grenadiers engaging a rifleman right there. The last rifleman in the American army right here. Even the engineers are dead. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
We are at 300 points.
Panthers advancing for the fatherland. 2nd Panzer Division thrusting its armored spear at the heart of the American armored divisions, or at least what remains of the armored forces. Sherman sneaking about in the east. Hellcat up. No, anti-tank gun. Armor-piercing rounds? Apparently not. Oh dear, that would be his major mistake. Armor-piercing rounds should always be used against Panthers. And Panzer grenades getting slaughtered by the Sherman because Atre3u can't be asked to retreat. And now Luftwaffe troops moving in to clear out the anti-tank gun.
Available for use against the enemy, meine Kampfgruppen.
Alright, let us speed things up again. And I got to go, apparently. Playback over, and there you go. Game over. Yes, indeed. I know it was a bit early, but then again, I think we saw some interesting problems here which need to be dealt with, particularly the one, of course, not using cover. Probably again, megacrosis lost quite a lot of units in basically not using cover again. Don't do that, please. It's not good for your men. They need cover. It slightly makes them more able to survive. Of course, we saw the Hotchkiss is being charged in. I mean, not really useful. We saw them just getting blown up. They did manage some kills, but that was mostly again sort of to megacrosis. Not really targeting properly. He sort of just charged ahead. Oh, wee! And then sort of forgot focus. And then he also proceeded then to make the major mistake when he was finally facing Panthers. He split up his forces to not focus on the Panthers. He could have won, but he just split them up, making it easier for the Panthers to take them on. Bad idea. He could have used more mines, and he could have used some armor-piercing rounds for that anti-tank gun. So there you go. Some thoughts here, a bit of slightly odd. Monday Novice fight. Curious faith in the Hotchkiss light tank. Lots of Hellcats, but getting knocked out due to poor armor tactics. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, want to subscribe or tell your friends. And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.